Hello, beautiful soul. Let's do a collective reading and let's see what the universe got for us today. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's update. Let's get right into it. This connection was built on something that went deeper than words. You didn't just meet this person, you felt them. There was an understanding between you that didn't need much explaining, a kind of emotional fluency that most people spend years trying to build. That's rare, and it matters. But that same sensitivity that makes you such a caring, present partner can also work against you if you're not careful. You absorb things. Their anxiety becomes your anxiety. Their mood walks into the room before they do, and you've already felt it. That's not a flaw. It's just how you're wired. The work here is learning where they end and you begin, so you can keep showing up for them without quietly disappearing yourself. Lately, it's felt less like a partnership and more like two people trying to share one lane. Little things are becoming bigger than they should be. A comment taken the wrong way. A disagreement that somehow turns into a standoff. A conversation that ends with both of you feeling vaguely irritated and not totally sure why. Nobody's being cruel here. This isn't a fundamental incompatibility. It's more like two strong personalities bumping elbows in a tight space without a system. The real problem isn't the arguments themselves. It's that nobody's actually stopping to listen. Everyone's waiting for their turn to talk. If even one of you steps back and genuinely tries to hear the other out, a lot of this friction dissolves on its own. Somewhere along the way, the conversations shifted. They stopped being about connecting and started being about scoring points. I see that you can probably feel it, that sharp little satisfaction when you land a good comeback, followed almost immediately by the quiet realization that nothing actually got better. Winning started to feel more important than understanding each other, and that's a slow poison in any relationship, because you can be right every single time and still end up alone. I am seeing that the person on the other end of these exchanges is starting to feel it too. That defeated feeling of walking away from a conversation not heard, just overruled. It's worth asking yourself what you're really fighting for, and whether the way you're fighting for it is actually getting you there. There's a heaviness sitting over this situation right now, and your mind is working overtime trying to make sense of it. The trouble is, when things go unspoken, when you can feel that something's off but nobody's naming it, your imagination steps in to fill the silence. And it rarely fills it with good things. You're walking on eggshells, second-guessing, reading into things. Some of what you're sensing is real, but some of it is old. Some of those fears belong to past versions of you that got hurt in ways that have nothing to do with this moment. Before you react, it's worth pausing and asking, am I responding to what's actually in front of me? Or am I responding to a wound that never quite closed? Even with everything feeling uncertain, something good is quietly taking root in you. You're starting to remember who you are outside of this relationship, what you enjoy, what you're good at, what makes you feel like yourself. And with that comes a kind of steadiness that's hard to shake. Your happiness is becoming less dependent on how things are going between the two of you on any given day. That's not detachment, that's emotional maturity. The more settled you become in your own sense of worth, the less the chaos has the power to pull you under. You're building something solid inside yourself, and that will serve you no matter how this unfolds. This card is telling right now there's a kind of guardedness in this connection, a sense that full honesty feels too risky, so things are being managed quietly instead. Someone is working things out on their own behind the scenes, not quite willing to bring the other person all the way in. Maybe it feels safer that way. Maybe past experiences taught you that being too open invites criticism or conflict. But here's the thing. Real closeness can't survive on half-truths and careful omissions. The intimacy you're looking for requires actually being seen, and that means letting someone see the parts you're not totally sure about either. The lone wolf strategy might feel like protection, but it's also keeping you lonely inside a relationship that could be so much more. Your mind is swimming right now, possibilities everywhere, futures that shift shape every time you look at them. One day you can see exactly how this works out beautifully. The next day, it all looks impossible. That kind of emotional whiplash is exhausting, and it's also a sign that you're spending a lot of time in your head and not enough in the present moment. The daydreams are seductive, but some of them are mirages, gorgeous on the outside, empty when you get close. The real question isn't which future looks best. It's which one is actually grounded in something real, something honest, something that holds up when you stop imagining and start looking clearly at what's actually in front of you. Something is coming that's going to cut straight through all of it. The shadow, the unspoken things, the careful tiptoeing around the truth. It might arrive as a conversation you've been avoiding, a realization that finally lands, or a moment where someone just says the thing that's been hanging in the air. It won't be soft. Truth rarely is. But after everything that's been murky and uncertain, there is something almost relieving about finally seeing things clearly. The weight you've been carrying, the wondering, the guessing, the tension, it lifts. What comes after may require some rebuilding, but it will be real. And something real, even if it's hard, is always a better foundation than something comfortable built on silence. If this message helps you find some clarity, I'd love for you to join the community by hitting subscribe. Thank you.